There is a battlefield where no flags wave, no drums sound, no crowds cheer, and yet it is the most brutal war ever fought. It is the war within, the war for your life, the war for your destiny. Success is not granted, it is conquered, and it must be conquered not once, but daily. Every morning when you wake up, you stand at the edge of that battlefield, and the enemy is already waiting, silent, patient, relentless. It comes dressed as doubt. It moves in shadows named fear. It whispers with the voice of your past mistakes, disguising itself as reason, as caution, as logic. But if you listen closely, it's not logic. It's surrender. And if you hesitate, even for a moment, you lose ground, you lose time, you lose the war before it begins. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before the light bulb. But here's the truth no one tells you. Those failures weren't setbacks. They were battles. Battles won, one after the other, with patience, with vision, with the refusal to quit. The world doesn't give success to the one who wants it the most. It gives it to the one who prepares for war and shows up to win it daily. You cannot wish for greatness. You must fight for it, and not with luck, not with comfort, but with fire in your bones and purpose in your chest. You must become a warrior of discipline, a general of your own mind, because success does not come to the most talented. It comes to the most relentless. And relentlessness is not an accident, it's a habit. Mindset is not motivation. It is not a quote on your wall. It is the weapon you sharpen before you face the day. You think you need more time, more help, more resources? Number. You need clarity of thought, strength of will, and a mind fortified against distraction. Andrew Carnegie came from nothing, but his empire began the moment he refused to think like a poor man. He trained his thoughts like a soldier trains his rifle. He fired with focus. He aimed with belief. You have the same mind, the same potential, but it's a war zone up there. And if you do not take command of your thoughts, they will turn on you. They will take your ambition hostage, convince you to stay small, and steal years from your life while smiling in the mirror. The battlefield is not out there. It's in here, and it's not about how you feel. It's about what you command. Do not wait for the world to believe in you. Believe first. Believe when there's no reason to. Believe when every voice tells you to quit. Because the day you decide to believe in your own vision is the day the world begins to make room for it. But belief without clarity is chaos. You can run fast, but if you're running in circles, what's the point? Clarity is the compass. Belief is the engine. And together they cut through the fog of distraction, fear, and noise. Walt Disney saw a kingdom before there was a castle. They laughed at him. They called it fantasy. But he had clarity so sharp it sliced through doubt like a blade. He didn't need permission. He needed precision. Most people wander through life hoping something will click, hoping someone will hand them the map. You are not most people. You are the map maker. You are the builder. You are the force that brings the vision into reality. Do not dilute your dream to fit the size of your current life. Expand your life to meet the size of your vision. You don't need to know every step, but you do need to know where you're headed. A man without a destination will be ruled by every detour. Define your mountain, name your mission, and move like a man possessed by purpose. Vision is not about seeing what is, it's about imagining what could be and daring to believe that you can build it. Henry Ford saw a world with cars for every family when horses still ruled the streets, and they called him mad. But he had something stronger than approval. He had purpose. Purpose is not found. It is forged. It is born in silence, in reflection, in the depths of your soul where comfort cannot reach. You must ask yourself, why am I fighting this war? What burns in me so deeply that I'm willing to suffer for it? Without purpose, you'll quit at the first sign of pain. With it, you'll endure storms others run from. Purpose makes pain meaningful. It turns setbacks into strategy. It turns failures into fuel. And when the war gets loud, when life comes crashing like thunder, it is purpose that holds the line. You do not rise in life by chance. You rise with purpose in your spine and conviction in your stride. But none of this means anything without discipline. Discipline is the steel of success. It is the unglamorous grind, the silent suffering, the choice to do what must be done, even when the thrill is gone. Discipline does not shout, it whispers. It says, again. When you're tired, it says, again. When no one's watching, it says, again. It's easy to be motivated on Monday, But what about day 27, when the results haven't come, when the world feels heavy, when doubt slips back in? That's when discipline takes over, not the version of you that wants the reward, but the version that's committed to the work. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your greatness, and you build that bridge one small, ruthless, consistent act at a time. Every early morning, every clean decision, every time you choose progress over pleasure, you swing the hammer, and one day you look up and realize you're no longer chasing success. You've become it. Discipline is the foundation, but action is the sword. No amount of dreaming, planning, visualizing, or meditating will win a war without movement. You must charge. You must strike. You must act when the fear is loud and the outcome uncertain. Action is how you speak to the universe. Action says, I will not wait to be chosen. I choose myself. It says, I do not hope. I building. I do not wish. I move. Every empire you admire, every titan of industry, every legend in history, they all had one thing in common. They moved. When Abraham Lincoln stood with trembling hands and a broken nation, he acted. When Roosevelt took the presidency in the shadow of the Great Depression, he acted. When a young Steve Jobs built Apple in a garage with nothing but a vision and a relentless will, he acted. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you have to move, because the cost of inaction is higher than any mistake you'll ever make. Indecision is the enemy's favorite weapon. It paralyzes the brave, it comforts the average, and it kills the dreamer. If you take nothing else from this moment, take this. Move now. Move when it's ugly. Move when it's hard. Move before you're ready. The longer you wait, the weaker you become. But the more you act, the more power you create. Because momentum is not found. It is built, step by bloody step. But even in war, the warrior finds a moment to breathe. Gratitude is not weakness. It is fuel. It is not the enemy of ambition. It is its ally, because when you learn to appreciate what you have, you multiply your strength to pursue what you want. Most people grind with bitterness in their hearts. They think success comes from anger, from comparison, from proving the world wrong. But the truth is, bitterness burns fast. Gratitude burns steady. It keeps you grounded when the wind howls. It keeps you humble when the victories come. Gratitude does not mean you are satisfied. It means you are centered, and a centered warrior cannot be broken. Think of Nelson Mandela, locked in a cell for 27 years, but never bitter, never broken, because he carried gratitude like armor, even in chains. He chose gratitude over rage, and that choice changed the course of a nation. Look around you. If you are breathing, if your heart beats with the gift of another day, you have something to fight for. Say thank you, then get back in the fight. Because gratitude sharpens the sword you carry. But don't mistake clarity for rigidity. Don't confuse vision with stubbornness. Success is not a straight line. It is a winding road of detours, dead ends, and broken bridges. Adaptability is survival. Adaptability is dominance. It is what separated the titans from the forgotten. It's why Kodak died and Netflix rose. Why Blockbuster became a memory and Amazon became a monument. The ability to pivot is the ability to endure. The enemy changes tactics. So must you. You can cling to the plan and sink with the ship, or you can evolve, rise, reinvent. Bruce Lee said it best. Be like water. Water doesn't resist. It adapts. It flows through cracks, around walls, under doors, and eventually it reshapes the very landscape. So must you. When the economy crashes, adapt. When the world shifts, adapt. When life throws a storm across your path, adapt. This is not weakness. This is strategy. The rigid man breaks. The adaptable man bends, learns, and strikes again. And when you do fall, because you will, resilience is the hand that pulls you from the dirt. Understand this. You are not judged by how many times you fall. You are defined by how many times you rise. Every loss, every heartbreak, every betrayal, they are not endings. They are assignments. They are tests, not of your talent, but of your resilience. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is resilience. Oprah was fired. Disney was told he had no imagination. Einstein was labeled slow. But resilience whispered, "Rise. You will be misunderstood. You will be mocked. You will be underestimated, but they are not your judges. You are. And every time you get back up, every time you put your soul back into the ring, you strip the enemy of its greatest weapon, your doubt. Because resilience is not a trait, it is a decision. It is waking up when it would be easier to stay down. It is fighting with your eyes swollen and your heart bleeding. It is standing tall when the ground beneath you has collapsed. And in that moment, Dick, when life has crushed your lungs, when the storm has drowned your light and you still rise, you are no longer just fighting for success. You are becoming it. But none of this holds if you stop learning. Learning is not a phase. It is a lifelong contract with your potential. You must remain teachable, humble enough to learn from failure, sharp enough to study success, wise enough to know you are never finished. The most dangerous mindset isn't ignorance, it's arrogance. It's the belief that you've arrived, that you know enough, that you've grown enough. That is how kings lose kingdoms, how leaders become tyrants, how innovators become irrelevant. Henry Ford, in all his genius, once resisted change, and it almost cost him his empire. Why? Because the student inside him died. Never let yours die. Read, study, observe, ask questions, learn from the greats, learn from the broken, learn from your enemies, because every lesson you ignore will return as a crisis, but every lesson you embrace becomes a weapon in your arsenal. And what is the ultimate prize for those who fight this war every single day? It is not just wealth, not just applause, not even freedom. It is mastery. Mastery of self, mastery of time, mastery of the moment. The highest level of this game is not to dominate others. It's to conquer the only enemy that ever mattered, the weak version of yourself, the version that hesitates, that hides, that compromises, that settles. You were not born for safety. You were not created for mediocrity. You are the descendant of warriors, visionaries, creators, not cowards. You carry inside you the spark of every great mind that walked before you. You are not here to mimic. You are here to lead. You are not here to shrink. You are here to rise. And when you rise and when you fight this war every day without fail, you begin to shape something greater than your own life. You shape legacy. Legacy is not built in a year. It is not etched in gold or carved in stone. It is written in action, in sacrifice, in the invisible trail you leave in the minds and hearts of others. The world may never know your name, but if one soul dares more, loves more, believes more because of how you lived, then you have won something greater than fame. You have won immortality. So I ask you now, not with hype, not with noise, but with truth. What version of yourself are you allowing to live? And what version have you buried, afraid of its power? There is a fire in you the world has never seen, and you've been taught to silence it, to be reasonable, to stay in line, to wait your turn. But your turn is not coming, because the battlefield does not wait. The world does not wait, and time is at war with your potential every day. You must wake up and step into your own revolution. This is not just about career or fitness or money or goals. This is about breaking the mental chains that have held your family, your bloodline, your future hostage. You are not just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for every version of you that almost quit, for the child who dreamed, for the elder you will become, who will either smile with pride or ache with regret. Success is not a door. It is a battle, not a prize, a responsibility, and it demands your full weight, every hour, every decision, every breath. You don't get to win once and coast. You don't get to achieve and then sleep, because the battlefield resets at dawn. You will wake tomorrow, and the war begins again. The doubt returns. The fear stirs. The comfort calls. And once again, you must choose who you are. Will you reach for the phone or the purpose? Will you stay warm in bed or rise into discipline? Will you feed the weakness or the warrior? Every choice you make sharpens one side of you and dulls the other. There is no neutrality in war. You are either winning or losing, building or crumbling, becoming more or becoming less. So stand up. Stand up in the face of your fear. Stand up in the face of your fatigue. Stand up when they doubt you, when they mock you, when they forget you. You don't need their validation. You don't need applause. You don't even need a reason other than the fact that you refuse to die an unlived life. This war you fight is sacred. It is the war of growth, of becoming, of transcending what you were told was possible. And the world is not changed by those who played it safe. The world is changed by those who showed up to battle every single day, bloodied, bruised, broken, but unyielding. That is who you must be. So rise. Rise in the morning with fire in your bones. Rise with the breath of purpose burning in your lungs. Rise with eyes that see beyond what is and into what could be, because every morning is a rebirth. Every sunrise is an invitation. And every day you show up, you win ground. Win it with your mind. Win it with your words, win it with your work. And if the day defeats you, if you fall, if you break, good, because now you get to prove that your spirit was never built on comfort, but carved in war. You get to rise again, stronger, sharper, wiser. This is the way of the uncommon. This is the path of the relentless. This is what it means to live with fire in your gut and steel in your spine, because success, true success, is not a destination. It is a war. And if you want it, you must win it daily.